Welcome to the Sprint to Profit podcast with Kirsty and Isaac. If you are an Amazon seller looking to grow your business with some of the latest tactics and strategies, along with some great guidance for your overall business, then you are in the right place. So pay attention and if needed, take notes. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sprint to Profit podcast for Amazon sellers. It's Kirsty and Isaac here. And this podcast was developed by and for Amazon sellers to give you the latest strategies that are working right now to grow your Amazon business, as well as how to plan for future growth within your lifestyle. You'll also hear from real active Amazon sellers who have turned their businesses around to grow and scale their businesses profitably. And you'll learn how they did it with real practical tips that you can implement in your business today.
So in this episode, we're going to be speaking with a friend and colleague of ours, Michelle Barnum-Smith, who is the founder and CEO of Your Marketing Therapy. Now, Michelle teaches Amazon sellers how to use Facebook Messenger to build their lists, which is fab because we know as CEOs of our business and all the other stuff that we have to deal with in the business, building the list to promote and launch our products really feels like a daunting task. I know I went through that process, but Michelle breaks it down to be easy and, more important, effective in your business as well. So even like a technophobe like me can actually do it, which is kind of amazing. So if any of you out there are going, yeah, I've heard of this messenger thing, I don't really know how to do it. Well, Michelle easily breaks it down so that anyone can implement it. So welcome, Michelle.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No, it's awesome to have you. And we're on a very special day today. So we're going to hop into, obviously there's some big changes going on within Facebook Messenger as well. It is the 4th of March right now for anyone listening. So 4th of March, 2020. So we are going to get into that cool stuff as well. But before we jump into Messenger chatbots and all that good stuff, I would really love to know a little bit more about your journey, because you've got actually quite an interesting background, how you even ended up in marketing, and then also how you became a chatbot expert and also enthusiast as well. So yeah, take it away, Michelle.
Oh, awesome. Well, I won't fill you guys on my entire life story. I did grow up on a farm in Washington State, and there's definite like life values that are instilled to you back in my day, like that kids these days just don't have that kind of lifestyle. And it was definitely, I learned at a young age, literally the law of the harvest. And so that has definitely affected me in my professional journey. When I graduated from college in marketing, I started a corporate career in high-tech marketing, and it was a really amazing experience. I learned a lot, but the biggest thing that I learned is that I hated being just like a cog in the battleship. I wanted to be able to see how my efforts had a direct effect on how the business was succeeding, and have just kind of that personal satisfaction, not just like a 9-to-5 punch the clock kind of a thing. And of course, I also wanted more flexibility and freedom, which is why a lot of people start businesses anyway, right? You want to break free. You want to not have some set schedule that is your like working hours. And as part of that journey, I got married and started a family. And so that desire became so much more important as I took on the new kind of roles in my life of being a wife and a mother. And especially with young children, it's so important to have that kind of level of flexibility as wanting to be their primary caretaker. So I started a digital marketing agency in 2012 called Your Marketing Therapy, and it's had iterations through the years. But one of the biggest iterations that happened was in 2017 when I saw my first chatbot, and it was a ManyChat based chatbot. And I was just like, as a digital marketing professional, I'm used to like marketing funnels and email lists and all of these kind of like points of friction for opting in and trying to figure out where your funnel is failing. And you write all of this massive sales copy and all of these email campaigns, and then you're trying to optimize this big monster. It's just a nightmare. It is a nightmare. And as a marketing professional, this is how I felt about it. But when I saw my first chatbot, I saw how quickly you could set them up, how quickly you could start running Facebook ads and optimizing your flows and your results. And man, your time to results with building like digital marketing funnels was like anywhere from like 6 weeks to 3 months, before you ever could get something just like launched and start testing. With chatbots, it's like 30 minutes, maybe, like you can throw things up there and start testing it on optimizing and seeing results just that quickly. And I just knew immediately that it was going to be the future of marketing. And that, and like, as individuals and as consumers, some recent data has been released that 95% of consumers want to engage with businesses via chat. They don't want to have to make phone calls. They don't want to have to come into the store. If they have questions, if they have concerns, if they want something from you, they want to be able to have, a chat-based communication with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all of those kind of like perfect storm of elements in mind, chatbots, and my like awareness of them, I'm like a super early adopter, whatever it's called, like cutting edge, bleeding edge adopter. They were in beta when I saw, ManyChat was in beta when I saw my first chatbot. So I've been using them basically from the beginning. So
I think also as well, one thing you did omit to say, that actually before you even got into all of this stuff, you were actually a dating coach as well, right?
Like I said, my business has had iteration.
Yeah, she's just like moved through the years. But I think a great analogy that I've heard you talk about before is when you say, marketing's like dating at the end of the day. I mean, you were a dating coach, but then also applying the dating techniques to marketing and then bringing that through to chatbots, and the way you're talking about building relationships with people in a chatty, in the 2020s, right? What are we calling it now? I don't know. Is it the 20? I don't know, whatever.
Whatever it was, like, because everybody's calling it like the knots, like
yeah.
I was like, can we get away from that? That's not working.
Yeah.
That's a bad, branding experience. Let's get away from that. So
yeah. But kind of building those relationships within the way that people are used to building those relationships now through social media. So I think it's a nice, it's kind of a nice mix of where you've come from through to actually what you're really, pioneering right now as well. So yeah, you've had a very, very interesting background, which is awesome.
And it's all built on itself. I think that that's an important lesson for entrepreneurs in general, is that no experience is wasted. There's no such thing as like failure unless you haven't learned the lessons that needed to be learned from those experiences. And I think one of the biggest lessons that you learn is that, like I personally had to learn, is that nobody wants to pay for something they can pray for, or that they think that they can pray for. And so if you are praying for success in your business, but you are not going through the efforts to really implement and make things happen, if you think the universe is just going to deliver things to you, you're probably going to fail. So please learn this lesson earlier than some of my dating clients who are still single. I got many people married. I did have many people married, just no babies named after me yet, which I think is a little offensive. I mean, Michelle makes a great middle name, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it sounds like a confirmation name to me for sure.
Cool. And so obviously, using the experiences that you've had and seeing this as an early adopter with ManyChat and messenger bots and all this kind of stuff and building these flows out, kind of give us an overview, because obviously you can use it off Amazon. You don't have an Amazon business, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Kirsty is coaching me. I'm in my journey of, how can I not have access to such brilliant minds, And so it is something that I am starting to do. I'm in my product research phase, not anything too far down the path, but yes, correct. My previous background is strictly in marketing. I'm not an Amazon seller turned marketing professional.
Yeah. And the reason why I bring this up is because it works on all levels, right? So like it can work for Amazon products. It can work for non-Amazon products. It can work for services, for whatever, coaching, consultations, all that kind of stuff, right?
Car dealerships, restaurants. I think the thing is that like I get to hang out with an elite community of ManyChat and chatbot experts. I am being interviewed by ManyChat later this week. Maybe later today. I can't remember what it is. So I get to hang out with these like super smart, super cool people, but we all serve different environments and different niches. And one of my like bot besties, I call her, she's an expert in like local marketing. So restaurants, retail, more kind of like brick and mortar. And, some guys are really good at real estate chatbots, but my focus is specifically Amazon with a hint of e-commerce. So that's kind of my area of expertise.
Yeah. And so when we talk about applying this to Amazon, and obviously everybody here is an Amazon seller or looking to be an Amazon seller, how do you see this kind of, just give us an overview of like, what do you use it for? Like, obviously we know like on our side what we're using it for, but really in the sense of like, do you use it for launches? Do you use it to rank products? Do you use it to get reviews? What is it that you actually use the ManyChat messenger bots for in an Amazon business?
Yes. Bottom line, the three things that all Amazon sellers care about is how their product is ranking, how their reviews, how their ratings / reviews are showing up, and then of course new product launches and things like that. I think secondary to that primary list is, and that primary list is all about positioning, right? And everything about Amazon and driving revenue is where you're positioned for your keywords. Now, obviously, it boils down to all Amazon sellers care about is revenue. We want sales, right? And so those three kind of positioning objectives are pretty standard for pretty much any Amazon seller. I'm speaking about private label and wholesale, like exclusive wholesale. So these techniques are not going to work for arbitrage or wholesale where you're fighting for the buy box. Mm-hmm. It's not going to do you any good to blow out your inventory to rank a listing that you could lose any second to some, race to bottom competitor, right? Yeah. So this is specific. These techniques are specific to private label and wholesale, like exclusive wholesale scenarios.
Okay, cool. So I know that you kind of have a presentation you like to kind of give us, so that way everybody can see what the hell we're talking about here, and we'll let you share your screen in a second. Obviously, today is the D-Day, right? Of when the messenger changes are happening because Facebook implements new rules. I think it's happened 3 or 4 times so far. So I think we'll just kind of hand it over to you. You can and anybody who's listening on audio through our podcast, you can head over to our YouTube channel, which we'll provide a link for, and you'll actually be able to see what Michelle's going over. I think we might even do a little bit of a demonstration as well, so that you can see exactly how this all works. So I'll let you kind of go ahead and share. I think you have the ability to share if you don't.
Yeah. And let me just say really quick that, if you're thinking about getting into chatbots, but you've heard this day is coming, and so you're just like, does this mean the end of everything? That is what we're going to talk about today. And just to give you the short answer, no, absolutely not. But let's get into it and let's kind of map out what the changes are, what you need to know, what you need to care about, that sort of fun stuff. All right. So let me share my screen. Okay. Now, just so you guys know, these messenger changes, unlike Amazon, who makes changes and never tells a soul what they changed, and it's all up to you as Amazon sellers to figure it out. You're in this game of what's happened. It's all rumor mill and conjecture and all of those things. Messenger announced these changes were coming. I mean, as marketing, as bot professionals, we knew these changes were coming in early 2018. We knew that eventually this was going to happen. And so there was kind of this hurry up and wait thing that was going on. And then in September of 2019, Messenger finally announced okay, this is happening. This is going to change. These parameters are going to change, and they're going to happen January 15th of 2020. And so all of a sudden there was this crazy panic, dead rush to I updated all of my course templates, all of these things just to be within, Messenger's guidelines. And then in classic Messenger fashion, in classic Facebook fashion, they were just JK. I was on the way to a holiday party in LA and got the news that the changes were going to be pushed back to March 4th, that the deadline was being pushed back to March 4th, along with some cool new features that we're going to talk about today. So this is very typical Messenger style to kind of stir things up and then just push it back on a really long runway.
And it's definitely happening today then?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
No, there have been no other announcements saying that it's not happening. So yeah, it's definitely happening today. And I think the thing is that, as Amazon sellers, you're used to change being forced upon you. And this is just another change, right?
Yeah.
But you have people like me who are aware of the things that you need to pay attention to. So here we are. Okay, so let's get into it. Everyone, as soon as the changes were announced, everyone's the end is here. It's there's no more Messenger. There's nothing further from the truth. Obviously, doomsday is today. So brace yourselves. It's all just kidding. Just kidding. So really when it comes down to it, what Facebook cares most about, and where these changes kind of like originated from, is that Facebook's love language, if you will, is engagement. And if you can see my screen, you'll see like a little diamond ring here being offered up. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the engagement, like shares, likes, comments. When it comes to, you think about your Facebook business page or like your Instagram feed, the things that show up there are things that you have engaged with. If you see the same 10 friends and their posts over and over again, it's likely because you have engaged with their content. And so Facebook, or their posts, and Facebook is like, oh, Michelle cares about these 10 people a whole bunch. So that is who's going to show up. And more likely, most of the time, especially with like Facebook business pages, if you're doing like content marketing where you're posting, like every hour on the hour, but you're getting like no engagement, it's because Facebook doesn't believe that your content is valuable to your subscribers. If your subscribers are commenting, liking, sharing, doing those things, then Facebook is going to freely serve that up. Now, how can you get in front of people even if Facebook doesn't deem your content engagement worthy? Well, you pay to play, right? And this is Facebook's model. This is Facebook's method. The engagement is king unless there's cash, and then cash is king, right?
Yeah.
So, and the reality as well is that they're trying to prevent Messenger from becoming email. Email's open rates and click-through rates are notoriously dismal. The read time is basically within 1 hour of receiving an email, and we're talking about like consumer email inboxes, not like your business email inbox. But like if you will read that if you received that message within an hour or never. That is like kind of the statistics of email. As well as open rates, less than basically 15% open rates, less than 1 to 2% click-through rates. So email is just it's not dead, but it's just definitely become a saturated platform. And so what Messenger is trying to do is prevent, what Facebook's trying to prevent is Messenger from becoming email with those saturation rates. Messenger, we still see standard open rates upwards of 80% and click-through rates anywhere from 30 to 60%. So it still is like a really valuable platform from an engagement standpoint. People respond to messages. So what is happening today? Basically, the 24-hour plus one window is closing. And that's a technical way of saying, unless somebody's engaging with your content, unless they're engaging with your brand, you don't get to send promotional content to them for free. So what this means is that promotional content can only be set under 3 conditions. First, and we're talking to like a subscriber base. Like if you have a list of subscribers that you've already built up in like your in like ManyChat. ManyChat is a platform, my chat platform of choice. It sits on top of Messenger. Please don't try to go out and build Messenger bots directly on Facebook Messenger. That is a waste of life. But ManyChat makes it really easy. It's like what MailChimp is to email, ManyChat is to Messenger. So it makes it really easy to build marketing campaigns. So you build up you have a subscriber base. And if you want to send promotional content to them, they need to have engaged with you within 24 hours. So less than 24 hours is the rule. They either have to have that or have what we call the OTNR, topic applied. I'll tell you what that is in a second. Or you have to pay for it in the form of paid messaging. It makes sense because really Facebook is a drug dealer. For the last 3 years, Facebook has given us access to send promotional content willy-nilly at any time for free to our subscribers. And that's how they work. They get you hooked on the platform. They analyze how people are using it. And then they change the algorithm and they lay down and they start charging, right?
This is exactly what happened with their Facebook ad platform. I think it was like 2012 or something. They allowed it for free until they got enough information. Then they started charging for it.
Guarantee. That is their stat. That's how they did Facebook business pages. Instagram. How did Instagram for business become such a big thing? It's because they let people and businesses, man, if you posted on Instagram and people, had followed you, they would see your content everywhere. And now the algorithm has changed, right? And it's pay to play. So this should not be a surprise, and it's no different, than Facebook's, modus operandi. So how do you run chat promotions now that the window has closed? basically, like I said, one-time notification requests. You send to those within your messaging window. You can also, with ManyChat, if you are capturing email addresses when people are opting in, which I always recommend that you do, then you can send emails directly through ManyChat for less than 0.001 cent per subscriber. ManyChat also has SMS features built in now as well. And these are the things that they have built into the platform to kind of combat messenger specific, some of these messenger applied changes. So these are ways to still access your subscribers if you have their email and their phone number. And I'm going to show you kind of some ways that you can gain those that information very seamlessly. Also, send paid or sponsored message. Paid messages is what is called in ManyChat. Sponsored messages is what it's called in the Facebook ad platform. You can send those for like less than 3 cents per subscriber. The only issue with paid messages right now that we're seeing as we've been testing this is a feature that was rolled out last fall. And basically, deliverability, whereas previously you could send a broadcast, if you had 1,000 people on your list, you got to, send a message to all 1,000 of those subscribers. And now with sponsored messages, it's a little bit more like Facebook's regular ad platform, where if you have, an ad that's running to an ad set of like 1 million people, are all 1 million people going to see that? No, it's going to be based on an auction system and your budget, budget and the window of time to reach those people is going to affect deliverability. So right now the deliverability is less than 40% for paid or sponsored messages. But in a way, this is kind of like a good thing. The reality is that most Amazon sellers who got in early with their chatbots have built up these massive subscriber bases, like 10,000, 30,000, 100,000 subscribers. And really the name of the game, as you guys know, when it comes to ranking, launching new products, you're trying to hit a number, like a specific amount of sales volume per day. Mm-hmm. You need like 25 sales a day. You don't need 2,500 sales a day, at like a rebate rate or, things like that. So having that lower deliverability kind of tightens things up a little bit more. And that the people who are clicking on your ad are actually serious about, getting your content. And then of course you can always run Facebook ads, and Facebook Messenger ads are still working per normal. But you're going to pay it anywhere from $1 to $3 per subscriber and up, for running those promotions basically. So the good news is that within the 24-hour engagement window, you can still, send offer reminders. Like if you've run some type of coupon offer or rebate offer and people have clicked on your message, that kind of like starts their 24-hour window. And so within that 24 hours, you can send offer reminders, additional coupon offers, upsells, cross-sells, and even review requests where it makes sense. So let's kind of talk about basically one of the biggest new features that was announced with kind of like the pushed back changes. This is the big feature that only recently has been released, and that's called the one-time notification request, or the OTNR. I've got on my slide, it's all spelled wrong, but here we are. So let me kind of show you, let's talk about what this is, and then I'll show you how to use it. So what can you do with OTNR, the one-time notification request? Basically, this is a one-time. So it's really important for you to understand this. It's a one-time promotional message. It's kind of like engagement currency. It's like where engagement meets cash, except you're not paying for these. But it gets spent like cash. So this is a one-time promotional message to those who have opted in to receive it, and can be used when you're out of stock. Like if maybe you have like a website where like the black sneakers are out of stock. And so you have like a button, a messenger button says, click here to get notified when these are back in stock, right? So then you have a one-time notification message topic, what we call them. They're topics, they're not tags. The topic would be black shoes notification, in stock notification. So it basically applies, if I click on that, then it applies that topic to me as a subscriber. And when Kirsty's black sneakers get back in stock, she can send a broadcast for free out to everybody with that topic saying, hey, the shoes are back in stock. Click here to get them now. Whereas previously, Like you'd have to send it as a promotional message, or an email or a text. And now you can send that promotional message with 100% deliverability for free.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can also, this can also be used for additional coupon offers. Like if people are active on your ManyChat list, if you have developed a really great audience who is responsive, who wants to hear about your deals, your products are really valuable to them, then you can build into your promotional flows, basically saying, hey, do you want to hear about other deals and offers from us? Click here to get notified when we have a new rebate up or a new girls gift available or whatever it might be. And it's a little bit more general. It's a little bit more like we have this promotion, this upcoming promotion kind of topic.
So could you do that if people are getting subscribers as well? So when they first actually opt into the list, you would add in a OTNR.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So then they've got the next, yeah.
So I'm going to show you some examples here in a second of where I would place those in kind of that promotional flow, and as well as ongoing broadcasts. OTNRs should be in every single flow moving forward, because it just basically, it's currency that gets spent if you use it, and then you can always be regaining it with people as well. You just got to providing them really valuable reasons to do so, right? You can use these OTNRs with upsells and cross sells, as well as review requests where it makes sense. And I keep saying that because we're going to get to what tags here in a second, and how I recommend using tags for review requests. Okay, so let me give you an example of, the first thing that you have to do, and this is where guys who are listening on podcasts, please join us over on the video, and the link I'm sure will be shared in the show notes, because I want you to be able to see how to do this. But basically you go to your business Facebook page, and let's go to this one. Okay. And I can see. So once you're signed into your business Facebook page, you should be able to see the settings option in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to click on that. And in the left-hand column under advanced, you'll click on advanced messaging. And then you'll scroll down, and under requested features, there will be a one-time notification request option. And I've already requested it, but if you haven't, there'll be a button here that says request. And you click on that, and that's all you have to do on the messenger side. Okay. So once you have that feature in place, then inside of ManyChat, which is where you'll build your bots, you'll have, and I've built this into all of my flows. So just a pitch for my course, because I don't want you to have to figure this out for yourself when I have literally done it all for you. But basically what you're going to do and how it works, and this is really hard to talk through, it's better if it can be seen and not heard. But basically when you're setting up a message, let me just send a new message. There's a couple of things, and inside of your ManyChat options, there's an OTNR button that you can select when you're setting up a flow, and you're going to click that, and there's a couple of things. This section is controlled by Messenger, and so there's things like a character limit. You can't add emojis or merge fields like "Hey, Michelle," So I always recommend having a text field first, where you can give people kind of the details of why they should opt in. And then this area really needs to be kind of topic specific. And you can see when I click on it, then a topic, one-time request topic definition area where you enter a topic to name. So here I have new offers, course offers, new rebates, black sneakers back in stock. This is where you enter the topic information. And it's really important to understand that a topic is not a tag that just exists on your account forever. If you once people have the new offers tag or whatever, or a topic assigned to them, if you use that in a broadcast and say, hey, I want to send this to people who have this topic, it's going to get used up, Mm-hmm. And so that's why in all of your promotions and all of your flows, you should always be asking for an additional one-time notification, being like, hey, wasn't that great, buddy? Wasn't that so fun? Hear about the next time we have this up,
Yeah.
So you're going to enter the text here. So I have an example of what this looks like. I've got myself like a cute little GIF here because I call it a GIF, not a GIF. It's not it's graphics. Anyway, so I have a cute GIF here, and then I have my text. In the meantime, click notify me below to hear about other great deals. And then I've literally taken this and put this all into all of my flows. And so what you see here is the messenger content when new deals are available from us looks very different when you actually see it in a preview standpoint. Now, let me just delete this so I can send it. So when it's actually in preview mode and when it's actually in like full delivery mode, it all looks very different. So let's open this in Messenger so you can see what the text actually reads. Okay, so you can see the GIF in action. So cute. Put whatever you want there. So you'll see that in the Messenger, in ManyChat, I just put the text when new deals are available from us. But then Messenger added, by clicking notify me, you may receive a message from AMZ Messenger chatbots in the future about this topic. And then when you click notify me, the topic is applied to me personally. And then I have like another cute thing there.
Yeah.
I might also add that if you don't currently have people's email and SMS information, that you could like ask for it here as well and just say, do we have your email? Do we have your phone number in case we want to SMS, in case we want to text you the offers as well. It's always good to gather as much information as possible, as much information as people are willing to give you. So take it. Any questions? Like, does that all kind of like flow and make sense?
Yeah, I think for a lot of people when they're setting this stuff up, I think the main difference from how they might have done these in the past versus now is essentially you're just adding that one step so that way they can continue to receive a message from you later and it doesn't have to be within that 24-hour window.
So let me show you how it looks in an actual campaign.
Yep.
So in one of my recently updated like rebate campaigns, okay, so this is what I call a subscriber campaign, i.e. it's a Facebook ad to a rebate offer in this example. So in the flow, we're taking people through kind of the rebate offer, people are submitting the rebate, and then after the rebate's submitted and before I get into review request mode, then I add the post-purchase update. So they're feeling all good because their rebate's on its way, the trust is built between you guys, between the customer and your brand. So now's a really great time to capitalize on that and say, hey, do you want to hear about when we have other great deals available, when we're running additional rebates? And people would be like, heck yeah, I'm not stupid. So that would be like a really great time to put that. Another time to use this is in like when you're running your paid messages or like your broadcasts. So let's say that you have a broadcast that you're sending out. In this example, it's a search, find, buy with a coupon offer. So you're going to see, like, if you see my screen, you'll see at the beginning of the flow, I have a condition, a big fat condition step that basically is saying, hey, if the messaging window segment is, if this person, if these subscribers have recently interacted with my bot, we're going to send this message for free. It's just going to get sent. If not, then I want to check and see if they have the one-time notification this topic applied, because then I want to use that. I want to use that as well. And then if they still don't, then I want to send an email. If I have that, if I have their email address and if I have their SMS information, then it's kind of this like smart campaign. You know what I mean? And then from there, if none of those conditions apply, then we're going to add a tag that says, product name, paid message campaign. So you have this like group of subscribers that you want to send the message via paid message campaign structure.
Yeah, and this is the alternate to how you used to be able to do it, where you just sent it to everybody and didn't have to do any of this stuff, right?
Right. New rules to the game. To the game. Another smart place to put a one-time notification request would be right here on the first portion of the message, where people say, hey, get this deal, or like not this time, or not interested. And then in the not interested, say, if you want to hear about great new deals that we have going on, click one-time notification, or give them an option to unsubscribe. Unsubscribing, purging your list, getting rid of unengaged subscribers is just as important as anything else you do in your campaign. You want to keep your list. You don't want to be spending money to send messages to people who are not interested in your offers, right? it's a dating rule, like you don't want to be barking up a tree. Like you don't want to be asking a girl out who's not interested in you, so it's the same kind of, idea.
Yeah.
My dating coaching roots. Yeah, she's hot, but she doesn't want you. So quit wasting your time.
Stop taking her out to dinner. Yeah.
You don't stand a chance. Move on.
So a couple questions before you move on, because on this one, it's a broadcast. So you send that broadcast out with those conditions, and then everything triggers from there. On the previous one, what were you triggering to get it to start in the first place?
That was the Facebook ad.
Okay, so Facebook ad to that flow.
That one could also be used as a paid message. The experience is kind of similar.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people will see the flow and they go, that makes a lot of sense. And they're like, but how did it start in the beginning? Like, how do they get there? And they're like so confused.
If my flows say subscriber on them, they're meant to be used with Facebook ad campaign. And in my course, I kind of like have it organized in such a way that hopefully makes sense. Makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to my students as well. Use these as Facebook ads, send these as broadcasts, use these as paid messages. So I have a lot of versions of each one of my templates.
I can tell.
Yeah. Yes, my flows are a total nightmare for sure. At least my organization. People look in here and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you have no idea. It's crazy. So, any questions on when and how to use one-time notification requests? Let me show you one more thing. Under here, over audiences, and then I'll take any questions. Here under audience, you can scroll down to the bottom and you can see where your one-time notifications live. So you can see that I have like 100 people who have opted in to, hear from me in the future from a recent broadcast I sent out. So not as high as I'd like it to be, but I'm not going to get my feelings hurt. It's all right.
Well, yeah, but so the idea here is that you say, hey, we're looking to put together a course or something like this, right? And then you'd say, if you're interested in learning more about that, would you like to hit this button to be notified when it's ready or something like that? And then 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, it's ready. Here it is. Something like that.
Yeah. And obviously I get to send to these people that promotional broadcast for free.
Yep.
Everybody else, you're still going to get the message. I'm just going to pay for it.
Yeah.
A paid message. So
the idea here is for Amazon sellers, that's a great way to launch a product, right? So instead of launching a course, you're launching the product and saying, hey, as soon as they come into your list, you say, hey, if you'd like to learn about our next product coming out, which should be soon, click this one-time notification. They'll get that you'll get them onto that, basically that topic, which is like a waiting list, if you will. And then as soon as you send that message to them, then they go away, like that topic disappears, but then that triggers the rest of that flow.
Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of applications for it. There's very specific ones like that, where it could be like a preview of like something that's coming, and we're so excited, kind of like a rolling thunder type of marketing campaign. And then saying it's live, bye, and have the topic be very specific, like new sneakers waiting list. Or it could be general, like additional new rebate offers, like that kind of thing. So I would play around with it in how specific you want to be. Obviously you can have most of my flows in my course are all are more high level, like new offers,
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think about it with my brain, which is very simple. So if you got someone coming in, new subscriber, they get hit with a one-time notification, awesome, happy days. Then I'm looking to launch a product, but I want to kind of generate some kind of hype right around it. And I'm like, yeah, this thing's coming in 3 days. So would you kind of recommend that people do that and then they keep getting notified along the way? Is that how you would do it?
Definitely do that. You could have like, okay, it's coming through in 3 days, but we only have like 100 units in stock. So we think it's going to sell out really fast. So click here to get notified the second it's available, or to like reserve, like kind of like not like reserve yours, because you don't want to get, in trouble if you sell out and people are like, but I reserved it. Unless you're just playing the game of like, we only have 100 in stock. We have 5,000 in stock,
exactly.
Like you're one of the lucky 10, I mean, you can definitely have it be like that kind of rolling notification, you want
I think
to.
it'd be good to
experiment with it to see, does that work? Does it not?
Yeah. And I think it's actually, like you were saying earlier, a change is a change, but also a change is an opportunity. So it's actually interesting to test that out, because I think the more people are going to go, yeah, I want it, the more likely is they're actually going to buy the thing, so that you actually get the amount of people that you need to be able to launch the product. And you're, as Amazon business owner, that's one thing that we're always thinking about is, it's great, I've got this subscriber list, but how many can I rely on it to launch my products effectively? And I think actually gives you a good indication of whether they're going to, how many people are going to be up for it. Yeah. Anyway,
right. The previous way that people would have done that previous to this is just setting up like a sequence where it's just like day 1, day 2, day, like that kind of like a dripped out thing, or like a series of broadcasts. But yeah, now with that window closing, it has to all be done, via the methods that we've.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is, as you said up front, don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom, because there is actually a little loophole called a one-time notification that will essentially let you do that process. You're just actually going to know, you're going to topic them in a different way.
Right. So like I said at the beginning, Facebook either cares about engagement or cash, right? And so one-time notifications are kind of like a bone that they throw through us at the end of December, saying like, okay, I've heard you guys are all really pissed off. And so we'll give you, if you can prove that people are actively engaged and really want that one message from you, then we'll let you have it, And so this is a way that's like, well, yeah. So, but there are kind of some limitations, or I guess like some things that you need to be cautious on how you use it. You can't incentivize people to click notify me. You can't say like, hey, click notify me and we'll send you like $100 gift certificate, or something like that. You can't manipulate that because Facebook really wants. Now, a bunch of sellers are going to go and do it just because I gave you the example. Because Facebook really does want legitimate engagement, right? Mm-hmm. They want to protect the platform from being, just Spamville. So, and
it probably doesn't help you in the long run anyway, because those people are only doing it to get the money or the gift card or whatever, and so they're probably not really going to be engaged anyway.
Right. Exactly. Unless they're making lots of money off of you, and then they'll, reselling your products as art for, online arbitrage.
So I have a couple questions. So obviously, if you were lazy, you didn't want to do the one-time notifications, you could just pay for every message to be delivered.
Yeah. You just come over here under broadcasts and click on paid messages and start your journey.
Yeah. And then the other thing I think most people are probably, as Amazon sellers, they're not always in launch mode. So they're not always launching a product. So maybe every 3 or 4 months they're launching a product. So kind of give me an idea, like if I'm obviously have an Amazon business, if I'm looking to do this more often and really get this thing ramped up, do I always have an ad going even if I don't have a launch coming? Or should I kind of build the list, and then that way I can also use paid messaging, but build the list and then during the launch mode, kind of just spend more to get like more engagement during that time period?
So there's kind of a couple of things that I want to touch on there. First of all, I think that there is value beyond just product launching. I work with sellers who all the time need to be re-ranking for their existing products. Mm-hmm. It's not just for new product launches. And if you're using it just for that, guaranteed your list is going to go cold. And when you do message them, they're going to be like, who the bleep are you? It's what I call like bad boyfriend syndrome, or, like
the 12 o'clock at night, what up? Or
right, exactly. Like when in my dating life, I would go on a great date with a guy, and then he would ghost me, and I'd never hear from that like until like 2 months later, and he'd like middle of the night text me like, sup? And I just feel like that is ineffective. That is not going to get you what you're looking for from me, at least it's not. And the same thing is true with your messenger list. If the only time you ever contact them is when, very rarely and only when you need things from them that are maybe not as valuable as you think they are, it's just not going to be an engaged list. So what I recommend is this little idea of like a marketing calendar that is, and I'm not talking about drip marketing here, because Messenger has made it clear that unless you're providing a lot of like valuable content, they are not going to serve it up to their audience. So like long drip sequences of who we are and what our brand stands for. Nobody cares. Use this platform like you would like an app on your phone when it's setting you kind of like notifications like, hey, it's Burrito Tuesday. Like, you know, get your $5 burrito here. Like it's very timely. It's very like high notification oriented. This is not a time to tell your life story. So think in terms of the marketing calendar of like, okay, seasonally, like Easter is coming up. I know that I need to get my products ranked for Easter keywords. Easter keyword volume is like through the roof right now. I need to make sure that I am ranked for seasonal keywords like Easter or Mother's Day or Father's Day or whatever it might be that is applicable that my products can somehow rank for. Or just like the main keywords that you're wanting to rank for, or maybe some new keywords that you want to rank for. Use your tool research of choice, your keyword research tool of choice. But like there could always be an offer going out to your audience that, you know, that provides value, not just the occasional new product launch.
Mm-hmm. How often, I know you've said seasonally there, but how often do you reckon it would be good to do that? Like every couple of weeks, every month, every 3 weeks?
So I recommend no more than 3 times a month, but at least once a month.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I don't feel like I'm asking a lot in that regard. You know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like email marketing where you need to send
one a day or more.
Oh my gosh. I get like 5 a day from Bath and Body Works. Yeah. And I'm like, you need to stop. You got to stop. I've had enough.
Yeah. So let me ask you another question. So obviously being realistic about the future of Messenger Bot, we've kind of seen it go down a little bit over the last couple of years with obviously the addition of paid messages. Do you think that there's going to be kind of like an abuse from bad message bot users or Messenger Bot users that's essentially going to turn people away from using the Messenger platform more often, like they do with email? They just unsubscribe, don't look at the stuff. They see it's from somebody and they won't look at it or whatever. Do you think that's going to kind of happen?
Well, I think it has happened, and thus why the changes that are happening today are happening, right? Because Facebook is like, all right, enough. You know, you've had your time to play and now it's time to pay. And so the reality is that this gate of having to pay to play is going to actually improve the platform. And so people who are going to pay are actually serious about it, as opposed to just this random acts of bots that are happening.
Yeah. And one thing, I mean, you might not be able to answer this specifically, but there is a lot of, and I'm sure you hear this from your clients as well, you know, there's a lot of fear around, you know, manufacturers literally cutting out, like people like us going straight to the Amazon platform, you know, building these, you know, a lot of sales at a cheaper price. So how do you see, I mean, I feel that Messenger and a way to be able to build your own audience and be able to create your own brand through that audience and create your own traffic is a way to kind of, what would you say, circumnavigate that, right? Basically, it's something that you own that they're probably not going to do. So I'd just love to get your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I think the reality is that, you know, I have been in some like Chinese chatbot, you know, campaigns where they're running like a rebate offer and they're asking for your PayPal address and their grammar is terrible. Their English is terrible. And you're just like, what the freak is this? You know, like the confidence of being able to like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy your product for full price and then you're going to pay me back. You know, I just don't like it's definitely one of those things that as Amazon sellers, you have such a bigger opportunity to kind of like build that audience who knows, likes, and trusts you. Trust being like really when it comes down to it, the currency of marketing is trust. Even though marketing is all things manipulation, it is still like the reality is that the deeper level of trust you have, the higher likelihood, the higher the value of that relationship, right? And trust is earned slowly and lost quickly. And so if straight out the gate, that's why I'm not like, whenever I train and I'm talking about like rebate campaigns, it's really hard to drive cold traffic to rebate campaigns, you know, at a reasonable cost because people just don't trust them. It feels like it's too good to be true. And if you add bad English as part of that, then the scam alert is just basically all over it, right?
So you're saying that if you put up front, this is not a scam, that doesn't work?
Trust us. I mean, that's like the worst thing you could say is I have integrity and trust me. Like those are like the worst things.
Yeah.
So I was going to say with the Facebook, the paid messaging, sorry, that only goes to your list though, right? Like you can't pay to have people like it like you can with a Facebook page, can you?
No.
Okay. So just to the list, to deliver to your list only.
Although like pro level stuff in like your rebate campaigns is to, after the rebate has completed, be like, hey, go back on our Facebook page, to that Facebook ad and comment, like, share, so that people know that this is legitimate, and tag your friends, like those kinds of things. You see really good like virality happen from that.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's actually a good idea. Yeah.
That's a little nugget just snuck in there for you guys.
Yeah.
So before we talk any more about like paid messaging, I want to talk about reviews because this is like super important stuff. So I'm going to go back to my slides so I can talk about this. So it's really important to know that Facebook considers review requests to be promotional. And so when and how you ask for reviews as part of your flows has changed and should be adjusted in what you're doing. So how to get reviews on Facebook, it really comes down to how you like asking a question about their order first to confirm that they have received it. And then use what we call the post-purchase update tag. There are 4 tags that Facebook has anointed as being able to, it's for non-promotional content only, and will like make sure that your message actually gets delivered. So one of those tags, and the only one that I think Amazon sellers should care about personally, is the post-purchase update tag. And so I'm going to show you how, like how and where to use it. But once you have that tag in place, then you can like kind of proceed with asking people how they liked the product. So let me show you where this actually shows up in your flows, where you should put it in your flows. So once again, if you're listening, head on over. Head on over to the video so I can just show you. Okay, so once again, we're in our rebate offer and we've completed the rebate portion of the flow. Then we're going to have a delay because obviously you don't want to ask for a review immediately upon purchasing the product. Hello, ASIN suspension, all of that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a delay of a few days between when they bought and when you want to follow up and check on their order. So this can be 3 days. It can be 10 days. It really can be like any length of time. If you sell supplements, it probably needs to be more like on the 10 to 15 day time frame because you want people to have a chance to actually like use your product and start to see results, that kind of a thing. So in your flow itself, you're going to have a delay timer, and then you're going to have basically kind of like a check-in and saying, hey, we wanted to check and see if you've received your black sneakers, click or tap below like the yes or no or not yet. And in this message, this is where you're going to have a tag. This is where you're going to put the post-purchase update tag. So let me just show you in edit mode because it makes a little more sense. So at the content type, you're going to have post-purchase update right here. And this is the only time you need to add it. ManyChat has this little like heart icon, and they might have like a dashboard, like a red notification saying like 50% of your messages are not going to be sent, click here. All the rest of those can just use like the other tag as long as you're within the 24-hour promotional period. Like right here, I have a delay timer to follow up with those people who I've requested to leave a review. It's 2 hours, totally within like the 24-hour engagement window time frame. And so the tag that I'm using here is other. I'm not going to use post-purchase update. And all it is just reminding people to, asking them if they were able to leave a review. And begging them to leave a review if they haven't. So does that make sense how to use the post-purchase update tag?
Yeah, to me it does. I mean, Kirsty, does it make sense to you?
Yeah, so if it makes sense to me, it should make sense to a lot of other people.
I need to find a different way to ask that question. Does that make sense? Is it like hopefully it's clear on where to use it and how to use it? Because some people are going crazy and they're putting it like at the beginning of their flows, and I'm like, chill. Like this portion of the flow, if somebody's receiving it as a subscriber offer, they have clicked on your Facebook ad, the 24-hour window is open, like you don't need to have like the post-purchase update tag. A, does not apply, and B, is unnecessary. Yeah. So the other tags that are available are confirmed event update. That's if you're hosting an event, like you guys host events, and maybe be like, hey, do you want to get notified? Like we'll notify you if the event has been canceled because of the coronavirus, or the day and time has changed, or your ticket price value has changed, or, those kinds of things. That's kind of like what it's used for. Account update is literally like, hey, you're, you know, I don't know. It's a little bit more like specific if you are managing people's accounts in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A little bit more specific. That's why the post-purchase update tag is the only one that I recommend for Amazon sellers.
Yeah.
And you can
Sounds
also
good.
see this is where your other tags show up too. So if in this flow, you want to go straight from like 3 days later, hey, like you bought this hairbrush, but this spray would go really well with it. And they opted in to hear about other offers. This is when you could use the new offers tag.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Built into the flow, not just as a broadcast, but actually built into the flow.
So that's your cross sell basically right there.
Yeah. Cross sell scenario, upsell scenario. Yeah. Little nugget right there for you guys. Just throwing them in there right and left. So are you guys seeing kind of like the value and how this is actually like kind of like a good thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that you said earlier on as well is building out a calendar, right? Because I think that's going to help a lot of people understand, number one, how to manage this, right? And of course, you've got a great course that goes through how to do it. And in the course, has it got flows as well? So that
basically it is a ManyChat template collection. I've got like 30 plus ManyChat templates in there for you guys.
Right. Awesome. Right. So
please don't try to set up these flows by yourself.
Yeah. So for me, simple is always best, right? So, work with someone or that actually has done this and knows how to do it. But I think I'm a visual person. So I like to think, okay, well, how is this going to fit into my marketing plan? And I think by just standing back, and one thing that we're very clear on with when we work with them as well, and that we talked a lot about in the podcast is, to think about what your plan is for the whole year. Which products are you promoting? As you said, you want to promote, your existing products pretty much all the time. And then also which ones are you launching and when are you going to launch them? And if you can have that and then fit the marketing sort of ManyChat calendar to that, all of a sudden you come up with all these ideas. Oh yeah, I could do it for this and I could do this for this and this for this. And then just being able to slot the tags in there that you talked about, the one-time notifications and all that, it all becomes a lot clearer than just how am I just going to do this one little thing here?
Panic. Yeah. I mean, the reality is that obviously with ranking, it's a little bit more fluid. You don't know necessarily when you need to run a re-ranking campaign, but guaranteed in this day and age, you're going to need to run a re-ranking campaign. So if you just have like a marketing calendar that is, maybe there's like a seasonal campaign that's coming up, a re-ranking campaign, and a review campaign or something like that, and just have like 3 a month that you're going to like standard run, that is like a really fantastic, that's all we ask. That's all, like, that is a fantastic marketing plan.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, that's an awesome tip right there, right? So do you want to just say that again, like the 3 things that you should work on in your marketing campaign?
Well, I mean, if there's a seasonal campaign that you can take advantage of and leverage that you're wanting to rank, either rank keywords for or just run a promotion, like it doesn't even have to be a deep discount. It could be just like, yay, our Easter baskets are 15% off. Use this group code, or it could be a code that's live on your Amazon sale, your Amazon listing. It could just be just like a general promotional type thing. Also, I would just have like a standard, like, re-ranking campaign every month and say, okay, how are my listings performing for my keywords? Are there keywords that I am not considering that I need to? And then a review campaign, like maybe it's like a rebate campaign that you have just trickling in, those rebates and those reviews very slowly. And you just have like, okay, how are my reviews performing this month? Okay, let's like increase some.
Yeah. And I think that also answers the big question that we get as well, is people saying, and you said this up front, what do I do on my messenger list when people have subscribed and I've run a launch and then they've gone cold and then no one wants to do it anymore? So literally by putting that in place, you're not only fueling obviously the business, but you're also fueling the list. And then would you also recommend that you always keep a subscriber campaign running?
Yeah, absolutely. I love giveaway contests. They're basically like the standard for getting any kind of follower. You see this all the time on Instagram, like we're running a giveaway, and like this peer, follow these guys and tag 7 of your friends, like all of that stuff. And a giveaway contest is, in ManyChat is no different, except it's a Facebook ad and you can turn it on and turn it off as you want to. And they're very effective and like very cheap ways to build your subscribers. So so a lot of the campaigns that we run are not revenue campaigns. It's not like you're measuring ROAS in that, return on ad spend, but you're building up that community and that contact list. But like I said, I don't recommend necessarily building a massive list. And let me just show you one more thing before we wrap up. And that is how to purge your list. So if there's some people on here who have who've built up an audience and it's gone stale or it's gone cold, what I recommend is coming over here to your audience. And it may be one of those things that you lead with a paid message where it's just saying, getting an offer out there and then doing this, since it's like your most recent, if it's been 4 months and you haven't talked to your list, don't do this. Send an offer out and then do this and see who is unresponsive. So you're going to come to your list and then you're going to click on filter. And then I would come down here to last interaction. Was before, and then I'd probably do 3 months ago, So if the last interaction was before, in my example here, it's October 1st. You can see my list is, so these people, like 350 people, I'm going to come over here to bulk actions and click unsubscribe from bot. And I'm going to say, thanks so much, but bye. Because I don't want to pay, even 3 cents to send a message to you if you're not going to be interested in what I have to say.
I think a lot of internet marketers just got anxiety watching.
Oh, totally.
Oh my God, don't do that.
Didn't do it. Notice how I didn't do it because I'm an internet marketer. I'm I'm not ready. But this is especially true. You're paying for those subscribers in several ways. You're paying ManyChat for them. And now you're going to be paying to send messages to them. So I have sellers who have 100,000 people on their list. And when we did this activity, only 30,000 of them were actually active or had recent engagement. And so it's just let them go. Just channel your inner Elsa and let it go. Let it go. You don't need those subscribers anymore. So just get rid of them.
I normally do that song. You beat me to it.
I do have a 4 and 6 year old, so Frozen 2 is hot in our house right now.
I think the idea of obviously getting rid of the unsubscribers, and you said before you can actually put that option into your flows and stuff as well.
I mean, you should always add an unsubscribe option in your flows anyway. But being in this example, we're being proactive and actively purge. That's why I call it purging the list.
Yeah. I think any internet marketer is give me another chance and then another chance and another chance. I'll get them back.
You can, but just know that you're paying for it, Yeah. So as long as you're okay with paying for it. And that's kind of why I'm excited about these changes, because previously it was all vanity stats, how many likes do you have and how many followers on Instagram and how big is your email list and how many messenger subscribers. And now it's you know what? Send me the open rate and the click-through rate on your last message.
Yeah.
And then it's ooh.
Like it.
Right?
Yeah. It's a bit like in our world when people are saying, yeah, I'm doing $1 million a month. And we go, okay, well, show us your latest tax return or your profit, right? And they're like, oh, I didn't actually make any money. So, yeah.
Dang it. You and that Lamborghini need to drive off and sell it back because you can't afford it, son.
Exactly.
Cool. I mean, I think that's, it's great to see all the updates and kind of 2 or 3 new things that most people, I've been using ManyChat for a long time now, and I hadn't even seen that the paid messaging thing was there. So I was makes sense now. I think it's probably been there for a couple months too, right?
Yeah, since last fall.
Yeah. So, little things that you can overlook just because you get used to clicking on the same things. You don't even look at the rest of the stuff in there. So it's great to see that stuff. And we want to thank you for coming on, sharing this. I think, our members and our followers and our listeners are going to get a lot of added value from this. And obviously, if they do want to learn more, where do they go to contact you? We'll also put a link in there, but where would they go to contact you, Michelle?
You can email me at michelle@yourmarketingtherapy.com. I probably won't accept your messenger requests just because I get so many. But you can email me if you have serious questions, or we'll also put a link in the show notes for where you can learn more about my course and like a special offer that work out with you guys to offer your audience.
Fantastic.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So thanks again. It's great to see all these insights and how to use Facebook Messenger and what Amazon sellers can look forward to from, the Facebook Messenger changes and how it's actually going to benefit them and not just scare them into thinking it's the end of the world, like you said at the beginning. And so if you guys like what you heard, make sure to hit subscribe button below, share our podcast with your friends who also might find great value out of it as well. Also, if you want to get some absolutely free training from us on what it takes to have a successful business to fuel your lifestyle, head to www.goteamreal.com to download our free training today. And guys, we'll see you next week for the next Sprint to Profit episode. And as always, we wish you the best for you and your business, but bye for now.
Don't forget to subscribe, and if you would like to get more information about selling on Amazon, head to goteamreal.com for some absolutely free training.